Okay, this is lesson 4.4, absolute value and change in situation. We're going to go ahead and do the notes, the warm-up. So go ahead and do the warm-ups, pause the video, and then start it when you're ready. Okay. Number 1, the total cost to rent a car from Avis is $66 per day. Since you're a member of a teachers union, you get a 10% discount. How much would you save per day? Look what they have done. They have given you T and D to make you think that all you have to do is write an equation. It's just like you're writing an equation problem. However, they want you to actually tell them how much you're going to save per day. It's $66 per day. You get a 10% discount. So, blank percent of blank is blank. Your percentage goes right here. That's 10%. Your total is $66. That's how much you pay per day. 10% times 66. What's 10% times 66, kids? What is it? $6. So you're going to get, it's actually $6.60. So you're going to save $6.60 per day. That's how much you save per day. If they want to know how much you spent per day, you would subtract that from $66. Okay, number 2. The French Club purchased 100 berets at $3 a piece. They sold them for $5. So they're going to make a $2 profit off of each beret. They had 100 berets, so 100 times 2 is $200. They will make a $200 profit. Your great uncle leaves you $1,000. You can't touch it for 10 years. Meanwhile, there's an interest rate of 6% per year. How much money will you have after 1 year? Okay, this does not say compound, does it? So we're going to do the simple interest formula. The simple interest formula is I equals principal times rate times time. So your interest equals, your principal is $1,000 times your rate is 6, don't forget the percent. Your time is 1 year. So we're going to do 1,000 times 6%, don't forget your percent sign, times 1 equals, what does it equal? 60. So your interest equals $60 after 1 year. So how much money, because they want to know how much money you would have. You would have $1,060. Okay? Okay, now we're going to talk about absolute value. We've already talked about absolute value. This is basically a review. Absolute value is the distance from 0. It is always positive. Absolute value is always positive. Always positive. So, the absolute value of 4 is 4. A lot of people want to make it the opposite sign. No, absolute value is always positive. The absolute value of negative 2.5 is 2.5. 4 is positive 4 because it is 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers away from 0. Absolute value is distance. Negative 2.5 is 1, 2.5 numbers away from 0. So that's why it's positive. Now, when we simplify absolute value, what is negative 10 plus 8? Negative 10 plus 8 is the absolute value of negative 2. What's the absolute value of negative 2? Positive 2. Now, on your calculators, I'll show you this, there is an ABS button. Does everybody see the ABS button?
Yeah.
In the upper left, it says ABS. Push the ABS button. Now, all you have to do is put -2 minus 4 in to that absolute value. -2 minus 4 equals, and it tells you the answer. However, on the test, you're going to have to show me your work. So you can check with your calculator. You cannot do this on the test. 6. I need to see -6 equals 6. I need to see your work on the test or you get no credit for it. So now, I cannot use the calculator on number 5. I have to solve this. So let me ask you, is there anything outside of my absolute value? Really? No. Anything outside my absolute value on the same side as my absolute value? Nope. So I take what's inside out, x plus 5, set it equal to 8, and x plus 5 and set it equal to -8. I must set it equal to both the positive and the negative. Now I subtract 5. X equals 3. Now I subtract 5. X equals -13. Let's see if x equals 3 works. I have the absolute value of 3 plus 5 equals 8. The absolute value of 8 equals 8. That is true. Here I have the absolute value of -13. Let me do that over here a little more. Let me erase this line. The absolute value of -13 plus 5 equals 8. The absolute value of -8 equals 8. Is that true? That's why we get 2 different numbers. You must solve these twice. Once for the positive, once for the negative. Okay. Again, do you see anything outside of your absolute value bars that's on the same side as your absolute value? Yes or no? No. So all I do is I go 2x minus 6 equals 18, and 2x minus 6 equals -18. Add 6 to both sides. (2x equals 24, x equals 12. 2x equals, what am I going to get here? -12. X equals -6. So my 2 answers are 12 and -6. Okay? Okay. Now we need to find the distance between 2 numbers. Please, please, please write this down. It is always, when you have to find the distance, it is always big number minus small number. Always, always, always. Write that down. Big number minus small number. So I need to find the distance between -2 and 4. So right here is my -2. Right here is my 4. Now, you're not always going to have a number line, and you're going to have to write this as an absolute value, so please, just watch. What is the distance? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 spaces between -2 and 4. But if I do big minus small, I'll get that answer. What's the big number here? What's the big number? 4. Minus, what's the small number? -2. So put this in your calculator. 4 minus -2. What do you get? 6. If you do big number minus small, you'll always get the right answer. Well, what if I did this? What if I did small number minus big? What's negative 2 minus 4? What's negative 2 minus 4? Negative 6. Can distance ever be negative? No, distance is never negative. That's why it's always big number minus small. Okay, go ahead and do number 8. See what you get. Remember, big number minus small. Do 8 and 9. Big number minus small. Okay, number 8. What's our big number? Negative 5 or negative 1? Negative 1 is bigger. Remember, the bigger the negative, the smaller the value. So negative 1 minus negative 5. What's negative 1 minus negative 5? 4. Let's see if that's right. We start at negative 1. We go to negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the answer. Of course, number 9, big number minus small, equals 5. The distance between 1 and negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, is 5. Okay, but if you remember big minus small, you'll always get the right answer. Given the number line, write the distance as an absolute value. Same thing again, kids. Big minus small, except I'm going to put it inside my absolute value bars. Which is my bigger number? Which is my biggest number? That's correct. Negative 1 is my bigger number. It is to the right of negative 3. So negative 1 goes first. Let me change this to blue. Big minus, what's my smaller number? No, it's not. What's my smaller number? Negative 3. So now I have the absolute value of negative 1 minus negative 3. What's negative 1 minus negative 3? What is it? What? Put this in the calculator, please. No, put it in the calculator. Negative 1 minus negative 3. Put it in the calculator.
2.
It is 2. These two negatives become a positive. That makes it negative 1 plus 3, which is 2. The absolute value of 2 is 2. Now, all you have to do, let's see, 1, 2. You have to write it as an absolute value. You don't have to answer it. All you have to write is negative 1 minus negative 3 and put it inside your absolute value bars. Big minus small. Answer gets correct every single time. Okay. You should be able to do number 11 on your... Number 13. For number 13, we're going to write a picture. Okay. A diver stands 30 feet on a platform above the water. So here's my platform, and it is 30 feet above the water. Here's my water. Okay? Here's my diver. Yay! He is 30 feet in the air. He dives and goes 11 feet below the water. What is the vertical distance he travels? So he jumps off, and how far under the water does he go? How far under the water does he go? So he travels 30 feet, hits the water, and then travels 11 more feet as he goes down. How far is that? Do we have to add these two numbers or subtract them?
Subtract.
We have to subtract them. Because when he hits the water, he goes back up. He still goes down, doesn't he? He goes 30 feet, and then he goes 11 more feet. We have to add them. 30 plus 11 is 41 feet. He travels 41 feet. You guys should be doing the warm-ups. Okay? Draw a picture. It might help. Okay, Navy SEALs are required to jump from an aircraft. There's my aircraft. It's an aircraft. Okay? 500 feet in the air. That aircraft is 500 feet in the air. Above the ocean. Sorry, above the air. Above the ocean. They are to remain 65 feet underwater for 4 minutes. What's the total distance they traveled? Okay, so they jump out of the airplane. Hopefully they have a parachute. I don't know. They hit water. How far under the water do they travel? 5 feet? 65 feet. So here, the dude drops 500 feet. Hits the water, and how far does he go under the water? He goes 65 feet under the water. So he ends up way down here. Are we going to add these two numbers or subtract them? We're going to add them. He's falling 500 feet, then 65 feet. So he falls a total of 565 feet. Okay. Now, if for some reason they had said it was Superman who fell out of the airplane, and he fell 500 feet, okay? And the second he hit the water, he flew 200 feet back into the air because he's Superman. So he hits the water, he fell 500 feet, and then he miraculously flew 200 feet in the air. What's the difference? And the difference, he fell. It would be subtraction. Because he fell and then flew back up, and he's hovering. He's now hovering. At what distance is he hovering? He fell 500 feet, flew back up 200 feet, and hovered. He'd be hovering at 300 feet. There you would subtract. Two people, please draw a picture. Two people leave the same place and travel in opposite directions. So here is people number 1. Here's people number 2. They left this spot right here. One person goes 8 blocks. The other one only went 5 blocks. What is the distance between the two people? Am I going to add these numbers or subtract them? You're going to add them. They're a total of 13 blocks apart. If you draw pictures, it's going to help you. Okay.